Here is what is going to be the core, the heart of this year's poor weather winter riding bike. Last year it was the Norco Rideau, the original, or actually the second of the original dad bike that was built on this channel as a dirt cheap gravel bike build. That bike has since been sold to a viewer of this channel actually, and this, for this season, as the snow comes down, will take the reins of that job. And if I've done my thinking correctly, all of the parts that are kind of scattered throughout the entire shed should allow us to finish this within a day. This is the project that I was talking about on Tuesday when I was riding and said I had this idea of something I want to do, but I don't know if I had enough time and it was too nice out. It's raining now, so we can try and make this happen. And one thing is for sure, this build from start to finish is going to be the epitome of tinkering, of using what you have to build something from nothing, take a bag of bolts and make it into something usable. It'll probably be the best example of why I feel everyone should learn as much about mechanics when it comes to bikes or whatever it is you're into, so you can know all the rules, all the standards, all the proper ways to do things, so that when you get into a situation like this with a bunch of leftover parts, a bunch of, whatever stuff that you've saved over time, that you can break those rules but know why it is and how to break them to make something work. And I think probably my best example, and the thing that's going to really hold this back if it's not possible, of that is going to be the wheels, because I don't have disc wheels put together for this thing. I need to build them, and I need to build them from hubs that I have here, old wheels that I'm probably never going to use, and maybe a wheel that you're familiar with, my brother's old beat up mountain bike front wheel. This thing's gonna come apart, and I'm hoping that I can make it work with some wheels that used to be on the Tricross that are never going to go on the Tricross again. So there's these wheels that were on the Tricross forever when that bike was being ridden a lot more, that I pulled actually apart a little bit for a video in the past. In this case, close enough will be good enough. It's kind of sad to take these wheels apart. I've almost like held on to them for a certain amount of time, thinking I would use them again. Never came. I'm not like overly proud of this moment, but feeling kind of lazy, so. So this kind of becomes the moment of truth. These spokes going into the wheel. We'll see if it works. And there we've got our new, but a bunch of old, kind of beat up part front wheel. It's amazing how much faster this can go when you don't care really how it's going to turn out. Make sure the tension is somewhat half decent, and don't worry so much about how much too long these spokes are. Now the rear. All right, rear wheel done. So we got some kind of crappy wheels that are now disc compatible to go on to the new winter beater. These wheels are purposely built as pretty much fast and terrible as I could possibly see fit, hence using a drill. So now that we've got wheels with tires that we know are going to work, and I've got rotors over there that I haven't put on yet, we can continue with the rest of this project. And the first step, of course, is ensuring that this steer tube is cut down enough so that the stem can properly be slammed with The top cap being at the right spot, not a whole lot of spacers in the way. Fork work now. Now this is kind of my favorite part because everything from now on goes pretty quick and without issue. These are the parts that you get to start putting on that really sort of make it look like a bike. I'm sure you're looking at these spank bars that were on my all mountain bike and you'll have yourself thinking, weren't those bent? To which I would reply, I don't know what you're talking about. So handlebars on the next bodge hack thing that I'm going to deal with is the cranks and bottom bracket. Now, I've got these oval cranks that were sent to the channel about a year ago. Here they are, still here. Now, I used the bottom bracket that I had for this on my Felt Compulsion, the all-mountain bike that we've made plenty of videos with in the past. But that's left me with just a completely dusted and wrecked GXP bottom bracket that for some reason I kept. The drive side of it was the main culprit, as per usual. But what I also had is a pretty good Hollowtech drive side bottom bracket cup and bearing, which, as we know, 24 mil on the drive side of a SRAM bottom bracket. So I'm going to Frankenstein a Shimano drive side cup with a... It worked! That looks pretty weird, but it did work. If it wasn't obvious, the Avid brakes from my mountain bike are going on this. Even though these brakes suck, they still get another chance. Now, without surprise, using the trusty SRAM 8-speed X3 rear drivetrain with the quintessential Shimano Mega Range cassette, fully completing this machine from the old bucket of bolts that is the leftover parts in this shed. Say hello to Nova Scotia winters. This bike will eventually get fenders. I just don't want to do it today. If there's anything you should take away from this, it's that you should definitely learn how to mess with everything on a bike so that if you ever find yourself bored on a rainy day, you can just completely kill all that time by fiddling and tinkering with all of the stuff that you might have and try and put it on to some other stuff that you have. That's it. It's the end of this video.